got this, and we go to the school, or you go to a party, you go to a certain event, and people don't really care. But in your mind, you really believe in your mind that, this is gonna make everybody go crazy when I wear it. You know what I mean? This is gonna make people turn head. I'm gonna get all the girls. I'm gonna get all the numbers. Because you believe the hype. You really believe that,
Welcome back to another episode of the Mendable Hustler podcast. I'm your boy G, and with my co-host Arturo.
You gonna make it.
Yeah.
Keep your head up. You're a king. You're a queen. You got this. Sleeplessgrindmore.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the Mendable Hustler podcast. I'm your host G. We're back with another one. First and foremost, I just want to thank God for giving us this opportunity. Another day, another blessing, another grind. God is great, and I'm here with the one and only Toro. And before we start going on, I just want to say that I'm just super excited and happy to continue with this podcast and just continue to bring out content, because every time I feel like when we do this, it just really a level of wisdom, a lot of knowledge. I just feel like I've learned all the message that we deliver here, and it just stays there, and it's just great, man. And I just hope that the people out there that listening to this podcast are really listening and putting on your own perspective, and just seeing everything that we're sharing, our experiences or our knowledge, see in your own way. Not everything that happened to me or him, or everything that we're saying here. You have to take it in a way where you can relate and see it on your own lifestyle. I'll put it there. But before we go on, I'm gonna let Toro introduce the topics that we're gonna be talking about.
Yeah, the topics that we're gonna be talking about is not anything new. It's a very it's topics that we discussed before, not so long ago, and I felt that we didn't fully cover it, and I wanted to elaborate further on those little points, and so we decided to focus on the point of reinterpreting negative thoughts, managing expectation, and what are needs and wants. And I guess I wanted to start off by focusing on needs and wants, just because there was not much to touch upon. It was just to cover more in terms of what it really means and what we should be seeking when it comes to our needs and wants. So Justin, if you don't mind, can you sort of give a summary of what your points were with your needs and wants?
Yeah, so my points are for my needs and wants. Needs is things that you need, internal, right? And wants is more the external, the outside. But most times, not most times, we're all humans, we all have our when we see the outside, something cooler or something nicer, something, oh wow, and you tend to just focus on that instead of focusing on the internal and the stuff that do you really need, all the stuff that you need it for yourself, or able to advance and or whatever, focus on the things that you're striving for or the things that you're looking forward for. And we get distracted, right? Because that's why there's always the 1% and 2%, because those are the most focused individuals that they tend to just ignore what's on the outside and just focus on the internal. I guess that's the best way I can define needs and wants.
Yeah, I look at needs and wants like Justin said. It's very similar. I don't really have that much to add. Because basically your needs are something that internal, that's something that's meaningful to you, something that really allows you to gain the confidence, gain the motivation, gain the ability to see something through, as opposed to your wants is highly dependent upon others because you closely looking upon others for inspiration, for motivation, and even if you complete those things that you see from other people out online, typically, you're looking for that validation in order for you to be
Validation, that's what it is.
in order for you to feel the comfort, in order for you to feel accomplished. So that's basically some of the things that I wanted to cover from last time when it comes to your needs and wants. So it's very important to understand that if you're chasing after something that is dependent upon the validation of others, then that's typically something that is a want. I did say that it's very difficult to identify which is which, but the easiest way to identify which is which is to identify whether that is something that is, if this thing is dependent upon others to fully make you happy, then that is a want. And if this thing is fully dependent upon yourself, that will make you happy if you succeed at it, then that is a need. The need are very essential towards your growth because if you constantly focus on your want, you become stagnant and you don't want that. So if you're focusing on self-development, it's really important to find out what your needs are as opposed to your wants.
That's huge. You focus on self-development, it's important to find out what's your needs and wants. And man, I don't think I sit in the I saw this way too. I didn't think I saw it this way. Focusing on the things that you want, like I'm really focused on self-development, right? And sometimes you get lost because you're so focused on, I want to get better, I want to do this, I want to do that, and then you tend to see something that you actually working on for yourself. Let's say like in terms of like working out, right? Or you see somebody with a nice body that already accomplished the goal that you striving for. So instead of you focusing on those workouts that you're already doing, you're gonna go on that person's channel or person's or whatever, and whatever that he's sharing, whatever that he's doing, you're gonna go tend to do what he's doing. But mind you, he's already advanced doing what got him there. So he's doing a lot more for him because he already has another goal. But you trying to get to the level that he's at. But you're not even close where he's at yet. But he already did what he did for him to get to that level. He's not even doing that anymore. He's doing something else now because he has different goals. Now you're looking at him like, I want to do what he's doing now. But what he's doing now is something else, not what got him there. Because you're trying to get what he got, what he's got now. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
But there's levels to that.
Right.
You know what I mean? You skipping steps.
Right.
You're skipping steps. Meaning like he took baby steps to get where he's at. Now he's taking adult steps to reach other goals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So which one is like, okay, instead of me still lifting my 20s, you look at him lifting 50s. I'm gonna skip my 20s, I'm gonna go to 50 because I want to look like him. But not knowing he did the 20s to get where he's at. Now he's taking 50s because he has to get to another level.
Yeah, just to, I guess, add on to what you're saying, is that we have the tendency to look at people that we aspire to be, and we quickly try to imitate everything that they're doing without knowing that we have to start from level 0, because at the point that we're looking at them, they're like a level 30, and we can't achieve such a goal if we just aim to just start off trying to achieve this level 30 that they're at. Every single one of us has to start from 0.
Right.
It's very important. Not only that, it's also very important to analyze what your strengths and your weaknesses are, because if you try to imitate and start from level 0 the exact same way that they did, it's not guaranteed that you will reach that same level that they are, because it might not be compatible with you.
Right.
Because everyone is different. Everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. So you want to, how should I say, optimize the training or whatever it is that you need to go through that fits you. So that's one thing I wanted to mention. But do you have like any sort of like, you sort of mention it, but like, do you have like any sort of personal experiences in which you saw something that you aspired to be, right? And I guess you saw something that you aspired to be, and you quickly tried to achieve that goal without realizing that you sort of need to start from zero, to start from scratch, to reach that goal.
Yeah, I think it was more of, and it's still something that I want, but I was trying to skip steps. Now realizing that it takes many, how can I say, classes. It takes more, not just knowledge. It takes more experience, you know. Because this thing that I was trying to say is, because I said to everybody, you know, I'm working towards to be a motivational speaker, right? And sometimes when you see videos online, sometimes after many clips that I share online and stuff like that, I have that confidence. I have the confidence that I feel like I'm on the same levels as so many videos that you see that online, you know, which is good to have the confidence that you feel like, yo, I can do this too. But not knowing these people actually took classes. These people like that are on 40s, you know, 50s, you know, even like 30s, you know. And I'm thinking in my mind, it was just for them. It was just like that. It's just like speaking, going on the camera on stage. Or they just got gigs out of nowhere to go speak at certain events. And I'm thinking that I can do that too. But not knowing, having experience, having a crowd yet. You know, it's just me and my camera. But I never experienced going on stage.
Right.
That's a different story.
Right, so it's almost like you're looking at a finished product, thinking that anyone could do the same thing, while realizing that there's a lot of steps that you need to go through in order to reach it.
Yeah, and that was huge because I'm thinking like I'm always already thinking the big thing. I can't wait to get gigs. I can't wait to go speak at an event. But I was trying to that's skipping steps. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it took me a while to realize, and that's one of those things that me wanted everything all at once.
Yeah.
I want that. I want this. I can do it now.
Yeah.
Not exactly putting into real perspective in life situations like what would you do if I should go to have let's just say 50 people there and you're on the stage.
Right.
You think your reaction with no experience will be the same, or the confidence will still be the same? It takes experience.
Yeah.
You know, it takes a while. It takes classes to stage presence, body language. Are you gonna be able to remember your whole speech? What are you gonna put on the screen? Are you gonna create a presentation and all that? So I'm not even thinking of that. I'm just thinking like I can speak. I can speak. I can share my experience. I can share my life story, which I'm passionate about, right? But do you have the experience to deliver a message not only for students, for business, for entrepreneurs, all that? You have the experience. You know what I mean? So this is the things that a lot of people just think that they see the finished product and they think they can do it. I know this guy. I want to wrestle with him. He's doing that. I can do that too. I can beat him one-on-one in basketball. How did this guy made it to the league? But this guy actually went to college and he went to bounce back to overseas playing professional basketball. That's how he got there. You played college. That's the farthest you went. You know what I mean? That's the most experience you have. You didn't get to go try and see how's the game overseas professionally, right? But because you're looking at him like, yo, I used to be this guy in 101. how this guy made it to the league. I can make it too. You know what I mean? Look at that, he can't even shoot. I shoot better than this guy. But that guy has so much more far ahead of you. Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and this will go into the next topic, and it's about wants.
Yeah.
I think what we said so far, we sort of put one in a bad place, but it's actually something very good that you can take a lot of things away. So as we stated before, your needs are internal and your wants are external, meaning you're highly looking at what other people see that you want to also have. So when it comes to your wants, let's say for example, you identify what your needs are and you identify what your wants are. If you look deeper within your wants, you sort of come to understand exactly what you're missing, exactly what you're seeking. Because it's not all that negative. Say for example, let's use social media. We use social media a lot in our conversations, right? So a lot of the times, the fact that people use social media is they're seeking attention, right? And if you dive deeper within that attention, there is how should I say? There is validation that they get, right? There's a sense of acceptance for them being whoever it is that they present themselves to be.
Likes.
Right. And then once you're develop a certain number of followers, subscribers, whatever it is that you think, there's a sense of belonging. Because a lot of people that are constantly online tend to be lonely. But if they have a large amount of following, then that loneliness tends to disappear. Right? So when it comes to your wants, it sort of tends to address some of these things. So if you understand that that's your want, you might want to question it. Why is this your want? Maybe you're lonely. Maybe you're seeking acceptance. Maybe you're seeking some sort of validation for the kind of person that you are, that you don't get the validation in school and work or anywhere, right? So, touching upon, reinterpreting negative things into something positive, can you describe an experience where something happened which was not good, but you reinterpret that situation into something positive, which you've taken it to this day as a skill?
That's a very good question. Something that happened.
Which was negative.
Yeah.
And you turn that negative experience into something positive.
Can I say when the time when I was collecting shoes. So I think a lot of people know that I'm a sneakerhead and I collect shoes. I got to one point and it was really, really bad because I started believing the hype, and buying every other new shoe that's coming out and every new shoes that everybody's getting, right? So kind of trying to fit in. So, and which is okay, sometimes you go and shop or whatever. But I got to the point that I started spending a lot of money, I wasn't financial. I didn't have that financial literacy, that I know now. I didn't have the knowledge financially, and I was just blowing money, just spending money, no tomorrow, just living the hype, just the hype. The new Jordans, the new J's, the new Jordans just came out, or the new Nike, the Air Forces came out, and then you see everybody get it, and you want to get it too. And you're thinking, I'm working on really another paycheck. Next thing you're spending a whole paycheck on buying shoes to try to fit in, and then also the addiction of having more and more. And you're buying all these shoes, and after a little while, you go and try these shoes that you just bought because the hype. and you don't even like it. It comes to a point you don't even like it. You just bought it, like, you start realizing, yo, I don't even like these shoes. I just bought it because everybody was talking about it. Everybody was showing, oh, I got this, and we go to the school, you go to a party, you go to a certain event, and people don't really care. But in your mind, you really believe in your mind that, yo, this is gonna make everybody go crazy when I wear it. You know what I mean? This is gonna make people turn head. Oh, I'm gonna get all the girls. I'm gonna get all the numbers because you believe the hype. You really believe that, yo, I'm gonna stand out from the crowd. I gotta be for you, even though we both have the same shoes. I gotta be for you. You know what I mean? So I think that's what happened to me, that I turned it into a positive, but it turned out to be negative because it was hurting me financially, and it was hurting me like when you start to realize, yo, I don't even really like these shoes. You know what I mean? But I thought otherwise, that if I get it, there are so many things that I could get. Like I could get more girls, I could fit into a crowd, I could stand out. You know what I mean? So those are the positive things that I'm thinking, but it's actually negative. I'm not really trusting myself. But it also comes with experience, right? When I speak, I can just look back and be like, yo, what I was doing. I really didn't know I did know what I like, but I wasn't focusing what I like. Does it make sense?
Yeah. Well, a lot of us tend to go through the same experience. I'm not saying like go through the exact same thing that you did, but in a sense of just like we tend to develop a perception of if we reach or if we get this certain thing. The most basic example that I can give is money. Right? If we accumulate a certain amount of money, then all of these things are promised. But we hear this story like I don't know how many times, so many times. Like those that reach that stage, that get this amount of money, they feel empty by the end because they thought everything that was supposed to be there is not there.
Yeah, that's what I feel.
That emptiness, they thought that it was going to be filled, but it's actually the opposite, right? So a lot of people tend to enter depression because they don't see any way out, any more motivation to continue to push themselves forward, because what else will give them that motivation, give them that drive to try to achieve something? Because money is like the biggest thing that everyone tries to go after because there's so many promises. But we constantly hear the stories of those that reach that stage that it's not what you think it is. But every single one of us is just trying to achieve it because we have our own ideas of what it will bring us, but it's not what it is.
Because when it came to the point that I started really realizing that I won't be sure I don't like it. And of course, some of those shoes I lost money. I couldn't get rid of it, and most of it I just had to sell and try to make a little bit of money that I spent on it. You know what I mean? And it was a good lesson, you know. And that's why it's really important getting to know yourself. But I think it takes a lot of experiences that you have to go through. Because it's like, when I look back, it's just like, what if and what if and what if and what if and what if. But there's no what if. That's just how life was supposed to go. What if life is supposed to turn out. You know what I mean? Like, let's say, when I talk about my accidents, right? I needed that for me. I needed those setbacks, you know, for a major comeback. When you hear people say, I mind a setback for a major comeback, you know what I mean? In order for them to have that major comeback, they needed those setbacks. They needed those, they needed those fortunate things that happened to them to make them analyze or change the whole game plan.
I would add it to that.
Yeah, and also I don't want to lose my thought. And also, when you fail, anything that you're doing, and you try again, you literally just like you're doing the same thing. You're doing with more knowledge.
Right. To touch on what you're saying, I do agree that many of us need to go through unfortunate experiences to come to discover or come to a realization of something important and to change our habits, our routines, or just the people we surround ourselves with, because we come to find out that they're not so positive. But at the same time, we learn a lot from watching others, from hearing stories. So it's not just about you going through some tragic experience in order to realize something very important, but it also you watching others specifically that have gone through something tragic in order for you to avoid making the same mistakes that they did, right? So it's very important to be very observant, to always listen, so that you don't have to go through the exact same thing. Because there's this quote. Actually, I'm going to avoid it because I don't entirely remember. Go ahead.
Yeah, what you said. Some things that we go through, it's not for us. Some experiences that we face in our lives, it's not for us. It might be for somebody else.
The younger generation, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you might go through it, but someone else need your voice to hear that experience that you went through for them.
I had remember may have been watching a podcast or a YouTube video of some sort. I had this visualization, and it's basically like a basketball veteran. He's on the court. He's playing video. He's playing.
NBA player.
An NBA player, for the sake of this example, right? And there's a rookie. He's on the bench, right? The rookie is very energized, very skilled, but he doesn't have the experience. As opposed to the veteran, he has all the experience, but his body is unable to do the things that he once was able to, right? The team is struggling, right? And the veteran sort of he has this set mindset or set idea of how the game is supposed to be played. And
kind of like a physics.
Yes, technically, because what tends to happen as we grow older, we tend to have a fixed mindset because we've sort of seen it all.
Stuck in our own ways.
Sort of, right? We've sort of seen it all, so we sort of have this idea. We sort of know what's coming, so we continue to do the exact same thing so we can get the results that we want, right? But things are not going well for his team. The rookie is very hopeful, right? Full of potential, full of happiness. He just wants to try new things. And from his mindset, from his perspective, he sees a number of things that the veteran doesn't see, right? Now, each of them have their own perspectives, but only together. Like, the rookie has sees a lot of new things, but just by himself, if he were to go into the game, say he was to be substituted with the veteran, right? He would try new things and it would work out, but he would not be entirely successful, right? But at a timeout, right? They finally come together because so the veteran, he tries his stuff.
So there's a timeout.
There's a timeout. Well, before the timeout, the veteran tries everything that he can from his experience, but it doesn't work, right? So the coach subs in the veteran subs in the veteran for the rookie, right? The rookie tries new things and is successful for a short period of time, but then the other team figures him out and is stopping him. So the coach is like, okay, we're getting destroyed here. Calls a timeout, right? And obviously the veteran doesn't really like the new things that the rookie is doing because it's not how the game is supposed to be played.
Nope.
He has this idea of how the game is supposed to be played and how the team can be successful, but it's not working, right? And the rookie is saying, well, you keep doing the same thing. You're not trying anything new, so obviously you're ending up with the same results. At least I'm trying something new. And I know that if we continue to attempt new things, we'll eventually figure it out. So the veteran, knowing that in order for the team to win, they sort of all need to work together, right? So what would happen is that the veteran would sub in with the rookie, right? And whenever they would sub in, the person that was sitting on the bench would tell what he sees because the person on the court can't see everything. So they're sharing their perspective. Only together they're able to figure everything out. They're able to win the game at the end. So the whole concept of this visualization is that the older generation needs to accept the new perspective of the younger generation, and vice versa. Only then you're able to figure something out that actually works. So, yeah. So you shared your experience. I'm gonna share mine. So I have a deep love for video games, right? And starting off, I never really had the money to purchase the games that I would like to play. Right. And I would work really hard to get the finances to get the games that I want. Obviously, I can only really afford just one.
Yeah.
Right. But over time, get a better job, I work more hours. I started getting more money to buy multiple games. But as I was just playing one game each, 1 year, 2 years, something like that, I really enjoy those games. But as time progressed, I was able to buy more games in the same year and stuff like that, right? But what I came to find out when I finally had the time, because I didn't have the time because I was constantly working or in school. But what I found out when I had the time and the money, I bought a lot of the games. I'm like, oh, like 20, 30 games or whatever, right? The passion was no longer there, right? So what I came to find out from that specific experience is that, and that specific experience is it's also a skill that I learned that I've adapted towards many different things that I've done so far. Basically, I get quickly satisfied with things, right? Whatever it is that I'm searching, whatever it is that I am trying to attain, how should I say? It needs to be something that never ends. It needs to be something that I'm deeply passionate for, right? So, what I've come to devise is that, even with money as well, right? So, I don't consider money as this goal that I need to go after in order to try to achieve something very special, but it's just a tool that I need.
What do you get with that? It's not focusing. You don't really have any goals for money.
Well, money is a necessity until a certain point, right? So I use it more as a tool, right? So as I experienced that particular thing that I just described, I use that experience as a skill because I know exactly what gets me satisfied with it. So I get easily satisfied with things, so I move on very quickly, right? So what I came to learn is that whatever goal that I set, right, needs to be something long-term, something that's deeply meaningful to me, right? So everything else is just a step towards that goal. So for me, I only have one specific goal I am pursuing. Everything else is just a step towards that. So yeah, that was my experience, and you described your experience. So the last thing we have on the list is managing expectation. And you did sort of touch upon that, so if you don't mind, can you elaborate further in terms of like what it means to manage your expectation when it comes to pursuing a goal or something?
Like the keys to managing expectations that you have for yourself.
Yes. Because every single day, every single thing that we try to achieve, we can't achieve some of these things in a single day, and those things just don't happen right away, right? As we're trying to pursue a goal, we go through a number of challenges, and it's important to have mechanisms that will allow you to get over these challenges in order for you to achieve whatever goal that you set.
Yeah. So, this is good. Expectations is I'm gonna start with this. If it's easy, everybody would do it. You know, you hear the quote so many times. Like it's every motivation that I just listen to, they use that quote. And and you start looking around and seeing things that you can accomplish for yourself, right? It's like, if I try this, well, how am I gonna do it? You know, if I try this, how am I gonna do it? And then you find something that you really love, right? You find something that you want to work towards. Let's say, let me give a pretty straightforward example. Let's say working out, going to the gym, right? You follow a workout plan. You follow a meal plan. You're doing all these things for a little while. But the expectation that you have, the result that you think in your mind, if I do this, this is what I'm expecting to have. This is what I'm expecting to get. This is what I'm expecting to achieve. You know what I mean? And then you go 1 week, 2 weeks, you don't see results. And you go down yourself and put yourself down. Not knowing, oh, well, really, yeah, just like you put yourself down and you're looking like, man, I can't accomplish this. Because your expectation, you were thinking if you do it this and this, you're supposed to get it. But there's more to it. You know what I mean? But it's the expectation. You're not doing you're not setting the goal, intentional goal. Because you're not focusing on the result, you're focusing on creating the habit to go and try to achieve any goal, not just the main goal that you're expecting, but you're not really looking more like a realistic goal. Look, this is the goal that I want to accomplish, but I don't want to just accomplish. I want to create it to something where I can create more, so I can use it to do more. You know what I mean? So I think people have like the expectation is not realistic. You know, it's not it's not realistic to the point you're thinking like let's say for example when I started like doing the brand, the Sleeplessgrindmore brand, right? I said I didn't know what the main vision was, but I was willing to work towards, and I was willing to put in the work. I knew it's not gonna be easy, but I said if it's gonna come with a lot of negative comments, it's gonna come with a lot of just a lot of times that I'm gonna feel down, times I'm not gonna feel motivated, you know. But I promised myself. I made a commitment. I said, look, I'm gonna stick to it, even when I don't see nothing's happening, even when I see there's no good thing happening. I'll say everything that I will say. When I go and say something online, or when I go introduce myself, I'm gonna say, it's your boy G, Sleeplessgrindmore.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna use that because that's gonna be me. That's gonna be my thing. I'm gonna stick to it till I live this earth. That's me. When I started, it was just me saying like Sleeplessgrindmore. Look what it became now. You know, I knew. To this day, I know it's not easy, but I made a commitment. Not expecting that it's just gonna happen overnight. That it's just gonna turn to a worldwide brand, and that it's just I'm gonna sell so many merch that to the point I'm gonna not have to. I'm gonna run out of merch. It takes time. I knew that it's gonna take time. I knew this gonna require a lot of work, but I was willing to put in the work. I was willing to wait the realistic time. You know what I mean? So I knew there was no set dates for the expectations that I have for it. Even though I have really good expectations, I know nothing's gonna happen if I don't put in the work. You know, nothing's I'm not just gonna be fulfilled like just out of nowhere without actually keep believing it and believing and have faith in what you say long after the feeling that when you said it has left.
Right. I'm not gonna add too much into this. I'm just gonna keep it short, try to keep it simple. So I think it's very important to understand that people always seek the path of least resistance. So I look at it
The easy way.
Yeah.
To make it more
Yeah. But I like to give a visualization for this. I look at it like a big marathon. Let's say it's like a 5K race, right? Everyone has many different goals, but in some of the goals, some people might be similar to you. So what you gotta understand is that after the first couple of minutes, people are going to be dropping out, right? And what you need to understand is that for every single person that drops and for every single time that you continue, it just means that you're getting stronger. You are getting closer towards that goal, right? So for every goal that you need to complete, you really gotta continue to push yourself forward because there's plenty of people that will continue to quit, but only if you continue to push yourself forward towards that end goal, you'll be able to achieve whatever it is that you set. So every single one of us at some point have to start from the start line, right? For those that push themselves towards the finish, or those that were able to get themselves stronger, or how should I say? That's the perfect. They're able to learn something very interesting, something very worthwhile that they're able to use into their next goal, and so forth. But for those that quit, they basically have to start from zero, because they're very important lessons that you're learning from the very start that you will carry on towards your next goal and so forth. So every new goal that you set, you sort of carry on whatever it is that you learned from the previous. So it's very important to really carry on and follow through.
It's very important to know that you only fail when you quit.
Right.
You only fail when you stop. Because every time that you fail, it's just lessons that you didn't know, that you need to know. You know what I mean? So every time that you stop on something that you're doing, that's when you fail. So you only fail when you quit.
So, just to summarize a little bit of what I said, every goal will come with a challenge because it's something new. It's something that you have not experienced. So you have to get out of your comfort zone and continue to push through in order for you to learn something new. And that will only help you towards your
whatever that you're trying to do, give your heart to it and stay strong. Give your heart to it and stay strong. Whatever you're trying to do, give your heart to it. Be you, be yourself. Because I said it before in one of the speeches that I have on my on YouTube. I said we have so many qualities. We have so many great qualities. You know, we have such a great story for ourselves, life stories. You know that we can share. We have so many great talents. It can be dressing, sports, talking skills, cooking, comedian, and we tend to fade away from those great qualities that we have because we look at what's cool on the outside. We look at, this guy, he makes it so cool this way, but when you're so good at so many other areas, you know what I mean? So, but it really starts you with self-development, getting to know yourself, finding your identity, finding something to live for, because if you don't stand for anything, you fall for anything. So I think that's the message that I want to put out there. I'm really confident of the stuff that I say here on the podcast. That's the stuff that I really believe, and yes, man, like everything that I say here, it's not I really believe that it's the right thing. Of course, I instill so many things from I read a lot of books, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and that's what I love to do, just to keep growing, because you find happiness when you see progress for yourself. The more progress you see in yourself, the more confidence you build, the more happiness, so the more happy you feel about yourself. You know what I mean? You look more every day you wake up, you look forward to just keep moving in life.
Yep.
That's my message.
I guess my last good point is that every single one of our goals varies in terms of the length in which it takes to complete them. So don't try to compare, don't try to look upon others in terms of when you complete this goal. Just look upon what works for you and take as much time as you need. How should I say? Make it realistic. Don't try to achieve something in a short amount of time just for the sake of others. Remember, that's a want. You're seeking validation, seeking acceptance, whatsoever. Look upon what your strengths and weaknesses are, and put yourself in situations where you will succeed. Don't try to just copy everything else that everyone is doing. Just understand that through every single goal, every single challenge that you get through, gives you confidence, as Chelsea mentioned, and just basically allows you to succeed further into whatever goal that you set next. Yeah. Make sure to give yourself rewards, because with every single thing that you're doing that's new, it tends to bring you a lot of discomfort, a lot of stress. So you need something to motivate you, you need something to give you joy. So if you're taking something away, make sure to put in something that will make you happy as well. Make sure that thing is positive, make sure that thing is healthy. So, yeah.
Things that come to mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So we'll end it here, and stay tuned, like, share, subscribe, I want you to share to as many people. If you watch and you really love this content, please do us a favor, go and share it to people who need to hear this, just go and share, and we'll see you in the next episode. Peace.